Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 and a new part of our Journeyman series where we are currently unemployed after the drama of the last episode. Now if you haven't watched that one, definitely go and watch that one before you watch this one because it was, well, for me at least, a very good episode with a lot of unexpected drama leading to me getting the can. And for this one, we haven't actually gone forward in time. We are still on the day that I was fired, or the next day actually, because it's now 6 a.m. on the Sunday, as you can see up here. We were sacked on Saturday, 4 minutes after the game ended, and we applied for a job at Qatar at the end of the last episode. We applied for that job at 7:15 at night. They've offered us a job without interview by midnight. So that is 5 hours and 15 minutes. That's all it took them to offer us the job. Now, the reason I was on the screen before, in our entire year and a bit at Concord, we earned 54 grand. That's not bad. We're on about 30 grand a year, I think. Qatar are offering us 15 grand a week to become their manager. That is a sensational amount of money. I mean, what is that? That's like nearly 750,000. It's an enormous amount of money for what is essentially a part-time job. Their team has some value in it. It's a good, good's a strong word. Compared to Concord, it's a fantastic team. Their profile is that they're probably a rich nation, so it'd be a good opportunity for me to get some nice coaching badges. Is the other thing I'm thinking. And it also doesn't stop me from applying for other jobs. So I am extremely tempted by this job. Now, at the end of the last episode, I mentioned the World Cup. The World Cup's been moved to Australia. They're not in the World Cup, Qatar. I don't think they even get the qualification for it. When we look at their senior squad schedule, you can see World Cup qualifiers, Group 2. They finished in third place. They did not qualify for the World Cup. So they're not in that, but they are in the Woth Championship 2020. I don't know if that's West Asian Football Federation or something like that. But they're in here. You've got Jordan, who are ranked 94th, Kuwait, who are ranked 105th, and Yemen, who are not going to be much better, 140th. That's Group C. What other big teams are in here? Saudi Arabia, probably going to clean up, to be fair. Iraq, Bahrain, Syria. Interesting little group, though. I'd be tempted by that, to be fair. I think it's top 3 and the best second place finish that will go through, looking at the group format. I think this is a good opportunity for us. The money's unbelievable. It set us up for life. I know that doesn't matter in the game, but in my head that matters. And I think I'm going to take this job. There you go. Sacked at 5 o'clock, in a new job, 6 a.m. the next day. That is unbelievable. And I've gone from being sacked from a 30 grand a year job to getting one for just shy of £1 million a year. I don't know. The game is crazy. They wish us well. They have no expectations. No expectations? They want us to reach the final stage. That's a bold claim. Oh no, that's a World Cup qualifying section, and that's already gone. They want us to reach the semi-final of the WAF and qualify from the Asian Nations Cup qualifying. I'm sure we can do that. That's a nice, interesting set of qualifications. And I was right, it is the West Asian Football Federation. What a guess that was. But there you go, we're on 15 grand a week now, and we don't have to do anything except for about 6 games a year. We can have a look at the scouting centre. We've got the Qatar set up, happy with that. And we've got the media to go and talk to. I can't believe I got this job and that they're paying me so much money. First up, I want to go to the board and I want to see if I can talk to them. Doesn't look like I can. Not at this point. My profile, my contract. I can't get the coaching badges. This is the trouble. Where's it lists the coaching badges? That's what I'm interested in here. I just don't think it shows them for whatever reason. Why does it not show the coaching badges? Coaching style? Ah, well, we'll figure it out. I don't have any badges. I don't know why I'm asking. But you can see our next game is in June against Malaysia at home in a friendly. Then we're away to Pakistan 3 days later. Then we go to November and December. And then we have our first competitive game against Kuwait. So we've got a few games coming up, which will be quite interesting. Now, I am also going to apply for club jobs if they come up. I don't have a problem with that. It didn't come up in an interview because there was no interview. So let's attend the press conference in Qatar. Pressure to hit the ground running. We're working towards a positive start. Of course we are. We're not going to work to a negative one. Pressure's enormous. Wouldn't have taken the job. Could never be as effective as managing Qatar as a native resident. I don't see that being important. I think that's a bit racist, to be fair. Think about tactics. Yeah, I've got an approach, mate. Don't worry about it. It's the exact same one that got me sacked from my last job. Risk of going wrong if players at Qatar don't fit your setup. Let's wait and see. Key, Lucas Mendes, 29-year-old centre-back. Keen for him to show what he can do. Don't think it's appropriate to discuss captain at the minute, because I might want to change him. Qatar players getting on in age. See what one or two young players might be able to come through. Why would you think that I'm going to select on reputation over performance? Of course I am. I'll pick the best players. Greater demands on the number of matches. Clubs are going to be concerned. I've got to work with that. And there we go. Press conference over. I don't know why the screen's gone blank. Maybe it's because everything is censored in Qatar. But I am looking to achieve. You know what, Wes Fowler from the non-football league paper? Why don't you do one? Honestly. Get lost. Honestly. I've just got a new job as an international manager of Qatar, earning more than you'll earn in your lifetime. And you're coming and talking to me about a nothing club who sacked me. How offensive. Right, what we're going to do is go forward. The game is in June. I think the rollover's at the end of June, where I can load in the new leagues. And then we'll take a look at club jobs, think about applying for them. I'm going to see if I can chat to the board, get some requests in there. I don't know if you can actually do that, though, at the international level. I don't know if they pay for your coaching badges in the same way that a club would. If we just have a quick look at the squad, actually, before we go forward. This is the existing squad. There's a little bit of value in there. Karim Boudayaf is the most expensive player. He currently plays at Al Duhali, so we're looking at domestic players. I don't think any of these are going to be outside of Qatar or maybe Saudi Arabia, but I think they're all based in Qatar, just having a quick look through. Some of them may have been anywhere else. Amane Akonte was in France for a while before going to Qatar and getting nationality. Sanhaji, yeah, I mean, all of these players are in Qatar. Some of them have had a bit of experience elsewhere, but generally they're all there. If we just have a quick look at the under-23s, can't see any players in there, nobody in the other leagues, other teams either. So there's not an awful lot to have a look at, nothing in the B team either. We've got the national pool. Maybe if we sort these by general info and value. Ooh, Lucas Mendes. He's not in the squad, but he is our best player. Where's he at the moment? He's in Qatar as well. He was at Marseille for a little while and played a lot of games for them. So he's our big name. Other players not in the squad at the minute. We've got this guy who's a defensive midfielder. Still in Qatar. I mean, that is the spirit of it all. I'm just looking for anybody who's not in Qatar here. But I think they're all in Qatar. All of them are in Qatar. And that's that. That's what we're working with. This is the national pool. Only 62 players in total. It's not a big pool, but we'll see what we can do with it. There's a bit of value in there. I think we can get some good performances out of the team. And we've got Malaysia to come. So let's go forward, load in these new leagues, and then start to see what jobs might be available. We are now at the first game of our time as Qatar manager. We're against Malaysia at home in the first one in a friendly. Then we're away against Pakistan. Two difficult teams to be taken on, but hopefully we can get the win. It's difficult to tell who's going to win this one. No previous matches and no match odds. It's not something you would expect to see. I'm pretty sure betting sites allow you to bet on even under 21 Qatar against under 21 Malaysia, let alone the full international side. So I feel like I've been cheated a little bit there, but it does mean it's difficult for us to know what kind of opposition we're in for. I mean, most of their players are greyed out, which does give us a little bit of an inkling. Their value is pretty much negligible. So I'd expect us to go out and get the win here. The other thing to note is that this is before the end of the kind of Football Manager year, so we haven't got the new leagues loaded yet. There won't be any new team in this episode, but there will be in the next episode. And my other question is, do you want me to show these friendlies going forward? I think given these are our first matches, we should be showing them and make sure we do well. But I'm not sure whether to keep showing them, especially if we get a club job. It might be a little bit of overload. Instead, we could just focus on the big tournaments. But looking at the way that we're going to be set up for this game against Malaysia, I think I found a tactic which I'm pretty happy with. We're going to be playing with Abdullah up top, one of our better players. Muntari on the left flank. He's not so great in this role, but Khalfan Ibrahim very good on the right flank, hoping for a lot from him. Luis Caera as our anchor is one of our better players as well, with the Banca and Gumu either side of him in a triple defensive midfield kind of position. I'm almost playing with a back seven with Qatar with 3 players up top, because I think actually we're going to get hammered an awful lot playing international football, so it's about managing that. And then in defence we've got our star centre-back Lucas Mendes in there with Budaif next to him, and Al Muhaza and Khalid Muftar in fullbacks, and Lecomte in goal. This is the same. Sorry, my phone's just going off on text messages here. This is the same Lecomte who plays in French football, isn't he? He's a French player who has decided to play for Qatar. Yeah, he is. Did he used to be a wonder kid? I'm pretty sure he used to be a wonder kid. Either way, that doesn't really matter. Instead, we need to just jump into this game against Malaysia and see if we can get the win. At the moment, I would say I'm kind of expecting a win. That's how I feel at the moment. But let's go out there and say I'm not too worried about the result. This is a friendly, so it shouldn't be too difficult for us to get a good insight of how our players are doing. So it's Malaysia who kicked the game off. I forgot what colour I am there. There's such trouble with a new team. But Qatar, huge step up from where we were managing before, I have to say. And we've got a corner here. Khalid Muftar puts the ball in. Abdullah's in there. Can't get to it. Lucas Menzel back to Gamu. And we've got the lead 7 minutes into this game as Qatar manager. And Gumu with the goal. What a great name and what a great finish. It was Khalid Muftar's ball in. Abdullah missed it. Lucas Mendes back to Gumu. A great pass back and an excellent finish through that gap of defenders and keeper to make it 1-0. An excellent start to life as an international manager. And if this goes well, I might just stay here instead of doing a club job. Let's just give Qatar a bash for a couple of years. But we'll see what jobs do come up. Because obviously if we do well as Qatar manager, we may well increase our own reputation and everything that comes with that to enable us to take on bigger and better teams. Now here's Khalfan Ibrahim with a ball in, and Budaf at the back stick. It's Budayev who makes it 2-0, 39th minute. We've got the goal here to make it 2-0. And we seem to be set piece specialists right now. Budayev, brilliant first time finish there on the half volley past the keeper, and we are utterly dominant against Malaysia here. Al Muhaza puts the ball in. It's cleared out by Shah, only as far as Luis Caera. Out wide to Al Muhaza. He puts it in. Muntari's in there. It's caught by the keeper, though. We do have a player with a knock, which is something we need to keep an eye on. I think I'll leave him out there for now as Malaysia pump the ball forward. It's down to Luis Caera. Now Gumu. Forward to Ibrahim. Back inside, and we've managed to keep possession. He's done well there, Gumu, and he finds Muntari, and that shot just blasted over the top left-hand corner of the goal. Now here's the throw-in nearly at half-time. Ball cleared away. Al Muhaza brings it forward onto Gumu. or is it Gumu, Galmu? I'm not really sure. Ibrahim, though, switches the flank out to Muntari. This tactic seems to work really well for us. And Muntari, what a run! But straight down the keeper's throat there. That just needed to be either side of him, and it would have been 3-0. But what an incredible start to life as Qatar manager this has been. We've utterly dominated this game in every possible way. And bearing in mind we're playing with 3 defensive midfielders, you would expect us not to dominate possession. And that is 50-50, but we are creating an enormous number of chances, which is really setting us up well. Now, Lucas Mendes plays the ball out wide. Nothing coming there. The team getting complacent already in their first game. I'm just going to shout concentrate here because I can't. What is going on here? This team really needs to get their arse in gear. They're 2-0 up at half-time in their first game for a new manager in an international match, and they're getting complacent. That is absolutely unacceptable. Bungzu out wide to Corbin Ong. He whips it across, and that's what happens when you switch off like that. Wan Kuzain has come in, unmarked in the centre, to make it 2-1. And Malaysia suddenly have a route back into this game. It was Bungzu who spread it out wide for Corbin Ong. He just outpaced our defender there, whipped it across, and they could have had 2 players finish that one. But it was Kuzain who got the goal, and suddenly we look a little bit ropey, but we've got a corner. Muftar puts it in, cleared away by Tuck, only as far as Galmu. He puts the ball back in. We're free at the back stick, and it's spilled by the keeper, but he does manage to just pick it up. I want to have another shout at the team here. I'm going to demand a little bit more from them and see what that does as Al Muhaza brings it forward. Now Ibrahim into the centre of the pitch, still going. He's going to have a shot at the end of this, and it's just hit the crossbar. Not a bad effort at all. And the team finally looking like they're getting on top of things. I want to take Al Muhaza off because he is struggling and also didn't do that well with the feedback as Muftar puts the ball in again. It comes out. What a shot. It's just dragged wide, though, of the goal. But lots of changes for Malaysia. I'm not a international manager who's going to make 30 changes a game, I have to say. Not long left though, 15 minutes to go just to see this one out, but Malaysia are having another go here. Corbin Ong gets the ball. To be fair, he is right back in his own corner flag as he tries to bring this one forward. Now it's Darwat plays the ball forward. Kuzain, the goal scorer, in the centre. They have got more fresh legs on the pitch than we have though, which is something to bear in mind. Oh, they nearly lost it there in a dangerous area. Kuzain on to Red Zuan, back to Osman. They're playing it out from the back here in a very slow and deliberate way, and that is what happens. Al Muaz Abdullah has managed to stream in and make it 3-1 and pretty much just tie up the game for us there. And it all comes from, I was just watching them pass this ball slowly around the back when they're 2-1 down with 15 minutes to go. Sent it back to his keeper, miscontrol there, and instead of just hoofing it clear, he tried to block it as a save, but Abdullah there got the goal to make it 3-1. And we've been so dominant. It didn't even, to be fair, it shouldn't have been as close as it was at 2-1. We should be further ahead. But I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not going to make any more changes. I want to treat the friendlies as competitive fixtures because I want to win, get morale, build team strength up a little bit, get them used to winning games, and then we can really kick on from there. But the full-time whistle goes at the Al Shamal Stadium. A really, really strong and convincing win here, I have to say. A really good win for us. The team reacted well to that. A lot of them were complacent and disinterested, which is a slight concern. But that was a really good win. And obviously this increases our ranking as well. Fresh start following a poor suffered defeats to Philippines and Japan in the World Cup qualifiers, which is fair enough. We did do that. But we've got another round to go. Well, that's the group stage. It was the first round. We weren't in that. The second round, let's look at all groups here. The second round qualifiers, yeah, we missed out here to Japan at the top, Philippines in second. I think maybe there were some best placed qualifiers in this because you can see Australia didn't qualify but Syria did, so I don't know if that progressed. Yeah, second round knockout and then all groups. I'm not really sure how that worked, why Australia didn't get in, unless they were the best of the second round teams, were they? 21 points. Nope, a couple who were 24. Not really sure what happened there to Australia, but they seem to not qualify for the World Cup for whatever reason. But otherwise, it's not too difficult group. It's Japan who were the big team in there. Philippines, I think, Qatar should have been finishing above the Philippines. Another win, and they may well have got the best place to qualify. I think it might have been, Uzbekistan was 17. I think they would have done it as the best place finisher had they beaten the Philippines in one of those games. Because they lost 3-2 to Japan, and then that one to the Philippines at home as well. That's a killer. But they did miss out on qualifying for the World Cup, or at least the next round, the final round of qualifying for the World Cup. But next up, we have a game against Pakistan. Then there's 3 friendlies to come after that. So let me know if you do want to see those. But let's jump ahead to the game with Pakistan. It's now time for the game against Pakistan. No changes to the team really, except for Lucas Mendes being pushed up into defensive midfield with Ahmed Yasser coming into central defence. Just trying Lucas Mendes in this slightly more advanced role because he is our best player, but it does limit the impact that he can have because he's now no longer rated as good as he is when he is a central defender. But it's worth a try. Pakistan not supposed to be that difficult an opponent from what I can gather. Again, no match odds on this one, so we're just going off gut, but they didn't have many players actually loaded into the game, which is always a sign that you should do well. I'm going to tell the team to enjoy the match and not get too worried about the result. But if we could start off our time as an international manager with 2 straight wins, we will be in a very nice position, looking towards the next kind of Asian Cups that we can get into and try and get a nice victory in, and ultimately try and build towards the next World Cup. That would have to be the great objective, is can we get Qatar into the World Cup after this one was stolen away from our country and we were no longer allowed to play in it. Now, the header here comes to Muntari. He's got a chance to run at the Pakistan defence. They're not really coming to him. Finally, they get the tackle in. Zeshan out to Ali. Back to Kadir. Now Razul. Ali. It's quite interesting that Pakistan do not have a good football team, but I suppose that's quite similar to India. They're both big cricketing nations with a lot of people in them, but not much football going on. Whereas the likes of Saudi Arabia have tended to do a little bit better and qualify for World Cups on a consistent basis. As Lucas Mendes brings this one forward, finds Khalfan Ibrahim, and now Gumu off the post. It comes back though, it's saved, and it's just rolled around, but there's a free kick given. I thought that would be going in, but here's Al Muhaza with a throw in. Only goes to the first man, Zeshan. He brings it forward. Ball over the top should be dealt with reasonably comfortably now that we've got a higher calibre of player in the team rather than the non-league Concord Rangers players, who, as far as I care, can get relegated out of the game. What a ball that is. Through to Muntari. He's in on goal, and the keeper may as well not have been there. That was a tame finish, but it has gone into the bottom corner, and we do have the lead over Pakistan. Now, obviously, they aren't a big country in footballing terms, but it could have been a little banana skin. And this ball from Al Muhaza splits the defence on the diagonal, and Muntari with a brilliant low finish. The keeper was even looking the wrong way there as it went into the near post to make it 1-0. So we can be really happy with that. Again, just no shots on target for the opposing team. No shots at all for the opposing team. And we are actually dominating possession, which is something we didn't do last time. As Lucas Mendes goes for the free kick, and it is not far away from finding the top corner there, playing in that more advanced role. At the moment, the team doing reasonably well, getting up to that 7 average rating. Nobody dropped them below a 6.7. Corner from Ibrahim goes into Budaif. It's off the bar and then cleared away by the defender. Not too far away there from Budaif. Ashfaq in, comes to Hussein. Ashfaq back to Hussein. Over to goal. Room in the middle for Zeshan, probably been their best player. Now Ali out on the right can put this one in. They've got a man in the box. Oh, Khan has arrived and Akonte can't save it. And it is 1-1. Khan there with the finish. A little bit frustrating that we weren't able to defend that. Because it wasn't that dangerous a ball. It was just drifted in. He got past the fullback there. He just ran around him, which shouldn't be allowed to happen. And able to ghost in and get the equaliser, and that's their first shot in the game, but they've managed to score, and we need to be more clinical. And that is where maybe this tactic of 3 defensive midfielders does fall flat a little bit, as we are a stronger team in some of these games, but Lucas Mendes with a shot there from distance, and Rashid this time able to take a catch. But here comes Patel with the throw-in. Ball nodded on, but Budaev can deal with it. He then plays it over to the other side. I suppose the team will get better with the tactical familiarity as well. That will take some time to develop. And one of the reasons that I'm not rotating the squad too much, because I do want our core players, our best players, to get used to playing in this system, and that will take some time. Patel on the ball, tries to play it forward, comes to Khan, the goal scorer, back to Ashfaq, out to Khan again. Some long, rambling highlights in this game. I don't know what that's all about. Ball into Hussein. Oh, and there we go. Gumo's managed to steal the ball. Ibrahim swings it over, and Muntari's there to get the goal and make it 2-1. His second of the day. And it's reasonably similar to the one that Pakistan scored. A cross from much deeper in the pitch, but we've managed to steal the ball off them. And then Ibrahim with this excellent floated ball in, beautifully placed, and Muntari with an excellent first time finish to make it 2-1. And he seems like a very good player for us. Couple of goals now today, and we've managed to get our lead back, and we're just so dominant in this match. We should really be a little bit more comfortable than we are, but we're just not finishing the chances that we're creating. But 2-1 at half time, I think we can be reasonably happy with that. We just need to watch the complacency, which is kind of creeping into the team a little bit, because they are playing teams who are much worse than they are. But we just need to keep using the shouts where we need to, especially when there's only a 1-goal lead. As this ball comes into Abdullah, back to Muftar, he puts the cross in, it's cleared out again. Ali away, but only to Luis Kera. Now Gumu. Oh, he's given that one away, but Luis Kera does well. Galmu again, comes forward, has a shot, and it's just wide. I thought that one was going to bend in at the near post, but it's just missed it. But not long to go now. The team still composed at the moment, only Khalid Muftar being complacent. Budaev out to Al Muhaza, charges down the right flank, beats his man, puts the ball in. Muntari for the hat-trick, can't get the goal. Rashid just clawing that one out the sky and stopping us from getting the lead. Now we've got a few defenders being complacent, which is what we need. So I'm going to drop Lucas Mendes back there and take off Yasser for Duzander to give him a first chance. I might also take off Mufta, who's been complacent for a while, and bring on Al Break for a change. So a couple of changes this time. We only made one last time as the ball goes in. Header, and it's a rolling around, but Lucas Mendes is offside as he tries to back heel that one in. A little bit of a goalmouth scramble, which Pakistan have survived. And you can see the complacency dropping out the team after those substitutions. We've still got Abdullah being complacent, but we've got a free kick from Ibrahim towards the back stick. Budaev taken down in the box, and we do have a penalty. Now, it should be Muntari taking this one, I think. We'll see. Abdullah might get it, but it should be Muntari. Oh, it's Kalfan Ibrahim, and he finds it right down the middle. Sometimes it gives you the option to change the penalty taker. It didn't seem to do that then. But it is Kalfan Ibrahim who makes it 3-0. I'm not going to bother showing that penalty again. Instead, I would like to bring on a new striker. Not sure which one of these to bring on. I think I'll bring on Al Afif because he is a little bit more fit or match fit than the previous player. I'll limit it to 3 substitutes, so I don't want to do what Pakistan are doing here. They've made 6 changes, which is just unnecessary. I hate when international managers do this in friendlies. I want to treat it like a normal game. The team has totally switched off though, so I'm just going to tell them to concentrate. I mean, time's up now, so it's a bit of a redundant thing to do. But 3-1 victory here as Abbas gets in behind. Not enough time for him. The whistle goes and we get a good away victory against Qatar. A very, very nice win for us. 2 wins on the bounce since becoming manager of Qatar. We can be really happy with that. Apparently we failed to live up to the billing. A fresh start. Well, I suppose this is passed from previous managers, but at the moment they're happy with how we're doing with the team. 2 victories there. If we look at the schedule, they lost to Japan in their most recent game, which cost them their World Cup qualifying place. This defeat to Japan as well didn't help, but it was this opening defeat at home to the Philippines which really hurt them. Now, they did previously make it to the second round of the Asian Cup in the 2019, which is interesting. And before that, you had the Woth Championship. What have we got coming up? We've got these friendlies, and then we've got the Woth Championship again. Just look at the past winners of this competition. We did win it in 2014, So there's a good chance that we could do it again here, go out and get the win. That was with Qatar as hosts. The new hosts are Palestine. Interesting place to host a tournament. But I think, looking at the opposition in here, we've got a great chance of getting the win. I'll just look at all groups. I don't think there's anyone in there. Saudi Arabia, good team. Iraq aren't too bad. But otherwise, we should be winning that. And that group, we should be absolutely cleaning up to make sure that we go through. So, interesting times to come for Qatar. Next episode, you may well, because the next game is in September, the new leagues will have been loaded in, and we may be able to take a club job. So I could see you sooner than the Hong Kong game in September. But otherwise, do drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, see ya.